All right. Ran through two other reviews. This will probably be a quick review. I watched a Shudder exclusive movie called Mad God that apparently was released in 2021 but did not come out on Shudder until 2022 and released in the United States till 2022. So it will count as a 2022 movie. This one is a weird one for me. I'm not a big fan of animation. You know, stop motion can be pretty cool, especially in the CGI age. But a whole movie that way, it's not really up my alley. But I do love horror, and I kind of wanted to see where they go with this. And it is the definition of a movie that, you know, less is more in terms of there's really only a few words said, if that, the entire movie. It's just a constant bludgeoning of horror imagery in stop motion, which works really well for me in like a 30-minute span, but an hour and a half span, not so much. So I will outlier that with this. This is a solid movie, though. But again, like the other two reviews I said, you got to know who you are. Another movie that will not be for everybody, especially this one. And if you can appreciate the artistry that goes on here, this is a beautiful, wicked, fucked up movie. Know that going in, but it's not your normal movie. Like I said, there's only a few words spewed. It's a animated movie, but it's not like, you know, your cartoon animated movies. It's stop motion. And you get to see a wild luring of fucking crazy events that you can't even necessarily quantify, but I think it is all adding up to something by the end. Whether that means anything by the end of it to you and you watch it and you're like, what the fuck was that? Or you're like, damn, dude, that's got a good play on things. You know, maybe the future or what is going on today, but kind of realized in a different way that's a metaphor for something. There is definitely something to take away from here, but you got to be willing to dig in order to get it. And a lot of motherfuckers are not going to be willing to dig in a movie that is stop motion, is also kind of off putting in its horror elements, and animated was. I don't think a lot of people can get into this movie, but if you can, like somebody like me, I think you will, which is also the huge overlying point of what I started this review at. It is also, while a movie I can get into from that standpoint that I just uttered, it is also not my thing over the course of a full-length film. So while I will praise this movie and I will say it's a great movie and it's something that you should definitely watch if you know who you are, it is also not for everybody, and it also wasn't completely for me. I love open ending movies. I love movies that don't really make sense. I love movies that have an overarching message you have to dive deeper into to really figure out. But over the course of an hour and 30 minutes, feeling like that consistently, trying to dig deep and figure out times I'm not the animation, is that what I'm saying? The animation guy, that's not really my thing. You know, it's cool in spurts, but not over the full length film. Those things together did not work as well for me as I wanted them to. It's one of those movies, if I could get ever define a movie where I'm sitting there, I'm like, I like this, but I want to love this. Like, not like I'm forcing myself to, because obviously I'll tell you my score in a second, you'll understand that. But I want to just love this to its core. I understand what they're going for. I get it, and I do enjoy it. But although while I do enjoy it, it's just not me. It's not really my thing. I'm glad I watched it. It was entertaining. It was grotesque at times. I did get some of the underlying themes. I did love some of the imagery, some more than others, but all of them were pretty fucking captivating if you can stick with it. This is a very solid, interesting, and keyword interesting film if you can get all the ins and outs and really break it down as you go. If you can't, you're going to have a terrible time. And again, for the 100th time, it's not going to be for everybody. It was barely for me, and I am somebody who loves this type of shit. But at the same time, though, As I said, do not go, well, if he's usually into this stuff, then I probably won't be. You might like animation more than I do. I'm not the animation guy. I don't know why. I never have been. But yet and still, if you have Shudder, fire this one up. Definitely worth a fucking watch. This is a cool fucking movie that really just makes you think. In some ways, I think where you're just probably overthinking it, but also other times where you're probably underthinking it, depending on the scene. It really has some dark, dreary imagery with some cool, random like murders from weird stop motion monsters that like you couldn't even think of in your head. There is some wild shit here, and if you're wild enough, I think you just might get into it, dude. Check this movie out. That is my review. Love you guys. Peace.